Hello, everyone, for OneWrestling.com, face-to-face, the Apter Chat, Summerslam 2014, and all I can say is Summerslam, damn, what a good show. We really need Ron Simmons here to say that, but let's go right now to my correspondent on OneWrestling.com, all the way in New Jersey from Pennsylvania, a long trip. It was a hell of a show tonight, wasn't it?
I tell you what, Bill, that was a Hollywood block. That was a Hollywood blockbuster from start to end. Two thumbs up from this side here. A great card, and you know what? It really delivered on the hype.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, the young man in the box next to me, his name is Marco Cerino, and he was one of the regular reporters here on One Wrestling many years ago, and then he took a sabbatical to move out onto some other career aspirations, and we're glad to have you back. And you could see a lot of Marco Cerino's work here, written previews and analysis and show reports right here. I do also want to mention that Big Ray was going to do an entire recap tonight as well. However, some technical difficulties are not making that possible tonight. So Big Ray, we hope you get your tech issues cleared up because we miss your reports. Anyway, I want to start out at the top, not at the bottom this time. I've been in the pro wrestling business as a reporter, photographer, and spectator for 45 years. And I don't think I have ever seen anything as brutal as that match between Brock Lesnar and former world champion John Cena. Did you count how many suplexes he hit on him?
The final total, as tabulated by the statisticians in the WWE production truck, was 16. 16 German suplexes he hit. It was astounding to see a guy of the size and strength of John Cena get absolutely manhandled. I've been watching him since he came out in 2002, 2003, through all of his many title runs. I never remember a match where John Cena got just beaten so mercilessly by someone who was in such control of the match from start to finish that it really could have ended at any time. But that was an absolutely dominating performance by the Beast incarnate.
Yeah, and you know, Lesnar tonight, usually, I mean, years back, Brock Lesnar, he and Paul Heyman talked a big game, but when it came to the big game, he backed up a lot. And tonight, he was pretty much on top of Cena. And of course, there are people watching this, oh, it's all this and it's all that. The physicality of these two athletes tonight was totally amazing. For a guy like John Cena to be able to withstand 16 suplexes, 16 German suplexes like that was truly amazing. And the drama in this match, when Cena got him once in the STF and once in the attitude adjustment, we didn't know what was going to happen. And I think a lot of fans thought that Cena was going to pull this one out, but Brock Lesnar is just a freaking monster.
He's amazing. You look at what his career was. He was a he was an All-American NCAA champion at the University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
A guy for his size, he looks like he's just carved out of granite.
He does. He does very
so deftly. He's very, for a guy of his size, he is very light on his feet, and he has a lot of explosive strength. Well, which is really the sign of a great amateur wrestler.
For someone,
a guy who can explode with that energy he brings and turn it into such force. You're just seeing, this is a 250-pound guy in John Cena. He isn't small by any stretch of the imagination.
But Lesnar,
he was getting tossed about like a cork.
Yeah, Lesnar reminds me back in the old school days of the monsters that they brought in to fight Bruno Sammartino and Pedro Morales. Man, oh man, absolute monster. Anyway, the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar, and I'm very interested to see what's going to transpire with this on Monday Night Raw. Let's go down to some of the to all of the matches on the card here, Marco. Stephanie McMahon, extremely brutal against Brie Bella, but that wasn't the story of the match, was it?
Absolutely not. It was the stunning turn of her twin sister Nikki.
Yeah.
Twin magic is shattered.
Yeah.
How can you do that to someone of your own flesh and blood? I mean, even if you don't watch Total Divas, you know these two have been together through thick and thin, years on end, you know? And that bond, that twin bond, broken by avarice or jealousy or whichever the deadly...
it's broken by the authority.
That's the thing. It was Ted DiBiase used to say that everybody has a price.
Yeah, they do, but the biggest thing here was the shock element, because no one expected this to happen, and I wonder how this is going to carry over to Total Divas, and of course, Brie losing the match here, and unbelievable, an incredible turn of events that none of us saw coming. But Stephanie McMahon, Triple H have always got something up their sleeves, don't they?
Absolutely, and I tell you what, for the time she had been out of the ring, raising 3 daughters, you know, with Triple H,
great.
She looked great.
You hear the fans chanting, "You still got it"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was seeing elements of Stephanie McMahon that I'd never seen before. I'd watched her in the Attitude Era, and then you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
She learned how to wrestle.
Yeah.
And also, Brie Bella put up a great effort. You know, that was probably one of the better Divas matches we've seen since Trish and Lita left. That was great technical wrestling. That was very sound.
And Stephanie looked so intimidating in that outfit tonight.
I think she borrowed that from China and maybe had it taken in a little bit.
Oh my goodness, that hurts. All right, let's go down. Let's go down. Roman Reigns. He needed to win this big one over Randy Orton, and there were many times during this match that I thought that Randy Orton was going to walk away a winner. And this was when Roman Reigns attacked Orton first. And then Orton very smartly slowed the pace down with that chin lock and slowed the movement of Roman Reigns. But at the end, that nobody gets through that the spear and the Superman punch. But that spear was amazing. I thought he was going to put him through all the way through the arena.
This is the guy. This is the next big guy here. A tremendous athlete, tremendously skilled, fabulous pedigree of a wrestler, and the way at his size he can move as quick as he does. You usually don't see the bigger guy pushing the pace of a match against a veteran like a Randy Orton.
Good point.
And Randy pulled the counters, and he was ready, and he was wily. But Roman had him scouted pretty well and knew what was coming, and also to kick out of that massive RKO that he caught him in midair.
Yeah, that was an incredible move. That was an incredible move. So Roman Reigns now up to the next level of his career. Let's talk about Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt. You had the young veteran against the young weird guy, and it was again, like every match here, it was quite a battle with Bray Wyatt eventually winning.
Absolutely, I said that this was a must-win match for Bray because he's in a position right now where he didn't have anyone ringside, he didn't have any of his support team, and he needed to get a legacy win over a great veteran who had beaten him already in Chris Jericho, and to be able to go toe-to-toe with one of the great ring generals of our time is a huge feather in his cap, and this really might revive the family movement.
An absolutely big movement. Some of the things he was saying, like, "You can't kill me, I'm already dead." I was wondering if he's been talking to The Undertaker.
He could be, man. When you have those buzzers around, those carry him.
Boy, that would be something. The Undertaker. By the way, I want to go back I want to go back. We're talking about The Undertaker. So now here's a scenario that I printed on OneWrestling.com earlier today. In my prediction about Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena, I said, wouldn't it be great if he defeats Cena, wins the belt, and then 2 or 3 pay-per-views down the line, The Undertaker comes back, avenges the streak loss, wins the world title from Brock Lesnar, and then retires the belt.
That would be very interesting. I've thought about these scenarios long and hard, and one of the things that I wrote about, which had been teased, I was really hoping for the appearance of Sting.
Yes, a lot of people were.
It could still happen, but when Sting talks about possibly joining WWE, he says his end goal is to wrestle The Undertaker. For 2 guys who's been in the dominant force in the industry the last 2+ decades, that's a match I want to see. I would really like to see The Undertaker's last match be against his brother Kane at WrestleMania, sort of the end of that great.
Maybe. I'd actually like to see Brock Lesnar against Sting. Anyway, let's go back down the court. So you people who are watching this, please, who would you like to see Undertaker against if he comes back? And who would you like to see Sting fight? Let's go back to SummerSlam. Dean Ambrose. My God, one of the toughest guys I've ever seen. So much energy against Seth Rollins in the Lumberjack match. They were fighting with the Lumberjacks. They were fighting in the stands. I mean, this was, but it was a screw job finish again at the end, with a lot of interference with Kane from the Authority coming in, and eventually Rollins getting his precious Money in the Bank steel briefcase and knocking out Dean Ambrose for the win. Now, I do not see an end to that feud.
Absolutely not. No.
Not in the near future.
That sort of ending gives us chance for one more match. And
maybe more. And
you want that big finish match. Steel cage, Hell in a Cell, something extraordinary along those lines to give us that moment, that time. Yeah. But watching Dean Ambrose, being from the New York, Philly area, a lot of people knew him coming through the minors, especially coming through CZW, which is probably one of the most dangerous promotions walking the face of the earth right now with the things they do. You look at him and there's something not right. He's more than a few bricks short of a full load, and he's drawing comparisons to Steve Austin, Roddy Piper. I look at him, I think of Brian Pillman, even those sort of great characters who
he's in that lineage. He's in that lineage.
Eyes off him because he's so captivating, and the promos he cuts, holding it like he's a third world orphan with a bowl of rice in his hand. Amazing character.
There's an old movie written by Truman Capote called In Cold Blood. And I've mentioned this to Ambrose, and there's a character in that movie of one of the 3 cold-blooded killers. And if I didn't know any better, it was Dean Ambrose. So, but what a hell of a match! I mean, you talk about everybody was going crazy. The energy level of this match was totally amazing. Lumberjacks were being beaten up, but in the end, Dean Ambrose lost the match. Let's go to the flag match. Unfortunately, even though he sustained a injury to his left leg, his left foot, early on in the match with the Patriot lock, Rusev was able to come out and win the flag match, and the Russian flag was waved, and the Russian national anthem went on. Again, another feud that I do not think has ended.
Absolutely not. And this is a great match to watch because you've kind of seen Jack Swagger in a bit of limbo since he main evented WrestleMania a couple years ago. He's a great technical wrestler.
Absolutely.
He's a great amateur-style guy. He's a great thrower. When he reversed out of that accolade, that was... I was watching it, and I watched him do it mostly with hips and lower body. I'm like, that's an amateur move.
Yeah.
He has such strength in his lower body that he sort of matches that favor that will give him that push. And he certainly deserves to have it. It's great to see an old hand,
an old man.
Zeb Coulter.
Zeb Coulter. Okay, yeah. All right. Great to see him in the mix.
I was working on a podcast, and we got a chance to interview Jerry Lawler, and we talked about a match he and Zeb, a.k.a. Dutch Mantel, had that went 26 falls in 75 minutes.
Yeah, he's a veteran. I'm glad to see him back there. Marco, we've got to move on a little regarding the SummerSlam here. The Miz, finally, the fans got their wish. The Miz lost the championship, the Intercontinental Championship he lost it to Dolph Ziggler with an amazing, both of these guys were at the top of their game tonight.
Absolutely. It was an excellent match, and people have been sort of waiting for Dolph Ziggler to break through that glass ceiling because he is a bit of a smaller guy, but he's a great technical wrestler, and he got the job done in LA. The fans were loving it. If there was still the brand split, I would say he would be the guy who'd be the top guy.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And he needs that chance to get that push.
My question, by the way, going back to the flag match, is why wasn't that guy, the real American, out there? Brother.
When he came out earlier, he probably took one look at Rusev and said, I'm 61. That guy's probably in about his mid-20s.
Oh, yeah. But I would have liked to have seen him make an appearance. Let's go to the Divas match that Paige winning the title on her birthday from AJ Lee. Two girls that don't have a full set of bricks going on up here.
Absolutely not.
Right.
But a great match to watch. It's really nice to see how much the Divas have come along, both in exposure with Total Divas and with their in-ring skill. Paige, I think, is going to be one of these young ladies who's going to be a mainstay for the next probably
She's going to go up to a Trish Stratus type of level if she keeps going at the rate she's going.
She's a very sound wrestler.
And her parents are both wrestlers, so she comes from a wrestling background.
Yep, as does someone who a lot of people think is going to be her rival in the years to come. That's Charlotte, a.k.a.
Ric Flair's daughter.
Flair's daughter.
Woo! Opened up with a dark match. Antonio Cesaro against RVD. And I picked Cesaro to win that because RVD's been on the losing end of his matches recently. But RVD looked, he was in perfect form tonight, and he beat Cesaro.
That was astounding. And Antonio Cesaro was getting a really nice mid-card push, and you figured, okay, give him the Intercontinental title, give him the U.S. title, give him an opportunity to face some bigger guys and show that because he not only big, he's quick, and he has an excellent background coming through, the independent circuit.
Sure.
Rob Van Dam turned back time.
Well, what's happened is that Cesaro has not been doing the big swing long time, and I think
that's true. Yeah,
and I missed that. Back. So RVD got the 1, 2, 3. I've been waiting our whole report to say that. Mark, I want to thank you very much for jumping in here, and we'll look forward to your reports. And where can people find you on social media?
You can follow me on Twitter at Cerino Royale. That's CERINO ROYALE. Been very pleased to welcome some new followers. Also, you can catch some of my other writing on EliteDaily.com, EliteDaily.com. I'm looking forward to putting some more stuff up, and we have some pretty cool ways to feature some wrestlers out of their natural element, hopefully in the weeks to come.
Yeah, and we will look forward to having your reports here on OneWrestling.com. Put your index finger right up to the camera, if you would, and we'll see you at the matches. Got to leave it there.